Welcome back to International Star Media, the Gold Star Standard, at the Gold Star Standard. Reactions, reviews, and news you can use. Once again, I am your host, International Yada, for the records and the dollars, and check it out. Y'all just won't learn, huh? Guilty. Human sex trafficking. This is a wild one right here. Some of the stuff that went on and the type of trial that was had, I never heard of. Y'all better learn to leave them kids alone. Leave those children alone. Okay, let's get straight off into this. We got a few things to talk about. Here we go.
Now, deputies in San Luis Obispo County are searching for a Madera man wanted in connection to a human trafficking investigation. Deputies are looking for 26-year-old Joshua Murphy. They say they connected Murphy to a 15-year-old victim. Investigators say their evidence suggests that Murphy was working with 28-year-old Heather Hunt from Tipton and 27-year-old Tremaine Jones from Bakersfield to traffic that 15-year-old and distribute child pornography. Hunt and Jones have since been arrested, but Murphy is still on the loose.
That's how it all began. Now let's get off into this. Here we go. Historic 3-jury human trafficking trial convicts 3 defendants of sex trafficking a minor. I never heard of a 3-jury human trafficking trial. But y'all follow along and check this out.
A first-of-its-kind trial here in San Luis Obispo County. I'm Dylan Foreman, your community reporter in San Luis Obispo, where the 3 people being charged in this human trafficking case are each getting their own jury. I was in the courtroom Tuesday as opening statements were given, and the trial attorneys argue it's all about context. Heather Hunt, Tremaine Jones, and Joshua Murphy all face felony charges, including pimping of a minor under the age of 16. While on trial together, they all have separate juries. It's the first time a trial with multiple juries has taken place in San Luis Obispo County.
While on trial together, they all have separate juries. So it's 3 trials going on at the same time with separate juries for each trial. Let's take it from the top. Y'all follow along with this one.
A first-of-its-kind trial here in San Luis Obispo County. I'm Dylan Foreman, your community reporter in San Luis Obispo, where the 3 people being charged in this human trafficking case are each getting their own jury. I was in the courtroom Tuesday as opening statements were given, and the trial attorneys argue it's all about context. Heather Hunt, Tremaine Jones, and Joshua Murphy all face felony charges, including pimping of a minor under the age of 16. While on trial together, they all have separate juries. It's the first time a trial with multiple juries has taken place in San Luis Obispo County. Murphy is facing the most serious charges, including human trafficking of a minor, lewd acts upon a child, and child pornography-related allegations. Their cases stem from January 2021, when San Luis Obispo County Sheriff officials say members of the county's human trafficking team came across an online sex ad showing a female who appeared to be under the age of 18.
So this all started in 2021 when they came across the online ad that depicted pictures and or videos of what appeared to be an underage victim. Let's go.
Stem from January 2021, when San Luis Obispo County Sheriff officials say members of the county's human trafficking team came across an online sex ad showing a female who appeared to be under the age of 18. During opening statements Tuesday morning, the prosecution highlighted messages and the digital footprint between the alleged victim and the defendants, telling jurors evidence will prove the teen was being trafficked.
Y'all hear that, right? The digital footprint between the victim and the traffickers. That's the digital footprint is how they track you through the phones, laptops, computers, different websites. Y'all pay attention to what's going on. Take heed.
And pimped against her will. For the defense, their argument was keen on establishing the context of messages between the girl and three defendants and the defendants themselves with each other, all telling jurors that the evidence will provide their client's innocence and belief that she was an adult. Tuesday afternoon, the first witness was called to the stand. Jurors are summoned through July 25th. Murphy's lawyer, Addison Steele, has been involved in more than 100 jury trials in his career, but tells me he's only been a part of 2 to 3 multiple jury trials. District Attorney Dan Dowd told me his office will not be commenting on the case or the overall scope of human trafficking in the county until the conclusion of the trial. On Wednesday, I'll be looking into the overall presence of human trafficking here on the Central Coast and what's being done to combat it. In San Luis Obispo, Dylan Foreman, KSBY.
And that's that on that. Okay, we got another video. Here we go.
A defendant in San Luis Obispo County's first ever multiple jury trial takes the stand. I'm Dylan Foreman, your community reporter in San Luis Obispo, as I was in the courtroom during questioning as the human trafficking trial enters its 4th week. The man with the most serious charges, Joshua Murphy, taking the stand facing human trafficking of a minor, lewd acts upon a child, and child pornography-related allegations. He is the first of 3 defendants to take the stand. Tremaine Jones and Heather Hunt also facing charges. On the stand, Murphy claimed, "I've never..."
Y'all don't want to be fighting for your life. Human trafficking, dealing with a minor. The penalty for that is life imprisonment. You could receive life imprisonment, as we told you time and time again. Don't do it. Leave those children alone. Don't do it. Take this from the top. These are some real serious allegations. They have been found guilty of the allegations and will be sentenced sometime August 2025, this month. Let's go.
County's first ever multiple jury trial takes the stand. I'm Dylan Foreman, your community reporter in San Luis Obispo, as I was in the courtroom during questioning as the human trafficking trial enters its 4th week. The man with the most serious charges, Joshua Murphy, taking the stand facing human trafficking of a minor, lewd acts upon a child, and child pornography-related allegations. He is the first of 3 defendants to take the stand. Tremaine Jones and Heather Hunt also facing charges. On the stand, Murphy claimed, "I've never pimped a day in my life." He and his attorney, Addison Steele, making the case for context surrounding language as Murphy was asked about messages sent to other women, as well as the key witness, Jasmine Doe, who testified almost 2 weeks ago. Jasmine is also the alleged victim in this case. She was
Let me say this. You out here play pimping, thinking this is the way to go dealing with minors. Find you something legal to do. Okay? Everything is not for everybody. Once again, everything is not for everybody. You out here dealing with minors, find yourself something legal to do. That is not the way. You make your bed, you lie in it. You get caught up with dealing with a minor, you could possibly receive up to life in prison. Think it's a joke? You think it's a game? Take heed.
Discovered by members of the county's Murphy claimed, "I've never pimped a day in my life." He and his attorney, Addison Steele, making the case for context surrounding language as Murphy was asked about messages sent to other women, as well as the key witness, Jasmine Doe, who testified almost 2 weeks ago. Jasmine is also the alleged victim in this case. She was discovered by members of the county's anti-human trafficking task force, who saw an online sex advertisement featuring a female who appeared to be underage. Murphy's defense claims Jasmine lied about her age on an online dating profile, and Murphy believed she wasn't an adult.
His defense was that the underage victim lied about her age.
I'm here.
Hey! They don't care about that. You should have knew how old she was. Excuse me. You should have known how old she was. You should have known that there was a minor being an adult. No excuses. You make your bed, you gotta lie in it. Leave those children alone. Leave those children alone. Or you too could be in a situation like this where they were just found guilty of sex trafficking a minor and are now awaiting sentencing. We will keep you updated with this case and also the sentencing. Let's go.
Alleged victim in this case, she was discovered by members of the county's anti-human trafficking task force, who saw an online sex advertisement featuring a female who appeared to be underage. Murphy's defense claims Jasmine lied about her age on an online dating profile, and Murphy believed she wasn't an adult. This case is a first for San Luis Obispo County, requiring 3 different juries to try all 3 defendants. Murphy faces 5 felony charges. His testimony took nearly the whole day, with the chief investigator J.T. Camp taking up part of Monday and the first part of Tuesday's testimony.
Once again, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Dealing with a minor, there is no excuse for dealing with a minor. You make your bed, you must lie in it.
While the district attorney's office is not commenting on the trial until it is over, they have mentioned in the past that, quote, SLO County serves as a natural corridor for human trafficking, as well as the Central Valley and Central Coast. It is unclear right now whether the 2 remaining defendants will take the stand.
The trial involving 48 jurors is expected to last until late July. In San Luis Obispo, I'm Dylan Foreman.
A lot of y'all still think this is a game. You think this is a joke. Some kind of get-rich-quick scheme going on in your head that you can deal with a minor. Wrong move. Wrong move. Okay, let's continue with this. Here we go. District Attorney Dan Doe announced today Tremaine Quincy Jones, 32, Joshua Murphy, 30, and Heather Hunt, 32, were convicted by 3 separate juries of human trafficking a minor for sexual purposes in January 2021. And they were just found guilty this year, July of 2025, and the sentencing will happen August 2025. So let's continue. District Attorney Dan Dow announced today that Tremaine Quincy Jones, date of birth 5/24/93, Joshua Murphy, date of birth 7/26/1994, and Heather Lynn Hunt, date of birth 11/8/92, all born in the 90s, have been found guilty of human trafficking a minor for the purpose of sex acts and pimping of a minor under the age of 16. This is a real serious crime. Once again, take heed. Leave those children alone. Learn from the mistakes of others. Learn from the mistakes of Joshua, Heather, and Tremaine. This is not the route you want to go. Okay, let's continue. Murphy was also found guilty of possession and distribution of child pornography and committing sex acts on a 15-year-old.
Oh my God.
Additionally, Hunt was found to have trafficked the young survivor under force, fear, threat, menace, duress, or coercion. This finding provides for a sentencing of 15 years to life. So they were all found guilty, and like we said, you can receive up to life life sentence for this. This provides for a sentence of 15 years to life. So you know what they're going to get. You want to throw your life away, 15 years to life? Don't do it. Leave those children alone. Minors are off limits. A minor cannot consent. We tell you this time and time again. Heather Hunt was found guilty of force, fear, threats, coercion, menace, and duress. Dealing with a minor, they didn't even need to find her guilty or those other two guys guilty of this when you're dealing with a minor. It's automatic up to life sentence in prison. Here we go. Finally, the separate juries found that certain factors in aggravation were proven true in regard of all three defendants. A jury's findings of factors in aggravation allows the court to impose a higher sentence. So they can impose a higher sentence. Might give them 20 to life, 30 to life, 40 to life, or just a life sentence, period. Don't do it. Don't throw your life away. Do not throw your life away. Use your head for something other than a hat rack. Here we go. Trafficking a young juvenile for commercial sexual exploitation is outrageous criminal conduct that devastates its victims, leaving wounds for a lifetime. And that's why we work so hard to combat it in here. San Luis Obispo County, or SLO County, said District Attorney Dan Dow. We honor the young survivor who demonstrated strength and courage during the lengthy process that includes testimony in the court and rigorous cross-examination by the three defense attorneys. We thank all of the jurors who were on time and gave this important case their utmost attention during the lengthy trial and for the verdicts. I am very proud of our prosecution team that includes partners from many agencies who collaborate with the SLO County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force. This three-defendant criminal trial was unique in the following way. Now check this out. All three defendants were tried at the same time in the same courtroom using three separate juries, one jury for each defendant. So that's like having three juries against you because they are hearing the same thing. It's just more people to find you guilty. Let's continue. In my opinion, let's continue. It is believed that this is the first time that this has been done in SLO County. The reason for the three juries is that the law allows incriminating statements of a defendant to be used as evidence only against that particular defendant in court. Interesting. Here, all three juries heard the bulk of the evidence, but when evidence was taken that was admissible to one defendant and not the others, the juries for the other two defendants were not present. Oh, so they brought the jurors out if it was evidence that was just admissible in one of the cases. They removed the jurors in the other two cases. Okay, here we go. During the 2-month trial, the three juries heard evidence that Murphy, Hunt, and Jones lured the 13-year-old victim from Nevada and trafficked her for 16 days through various cities in California, ending with her rescue by law enforcement in Pismo Beach in January 2021. 16 days that they had this minor in their custody. 16 days. And you could receive up to life in prison. Don't do it. It's not worth it. That's not player behavior. That's not pimpish behavior. That's pedophile behavior. We're just going to call it like we see it. You dealing with a minor, that's pedophile behavior. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Let's continue. All three defendants are scheduled to be sentenced August 27, 2025 in Department 5 of the SLO County Superior Court, the Honorable Judge Timothy Covello presiding. And this was them in trial. An updated picture. Joshua Murphy, Tremaine Jones, and Heather Hunt all found guilty of sex trafficking a minor. All looking at 15 to life in prison. Is it worth it? Y'all take heed. Learn from the mistakes of others. Leave those children alone. International Star Media, the Gold Star Standard, at the Gold Star Standard. Reactions, reviews, and news you can use. Once again, I am your host, International Yada, for the record saying the dollars, and we will see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share the video.